Hey guys! Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the hidden stories behind your favorite music. Today we're diving into something that's been flying under the radar for decades, Angie Stone's mind-blowing songwriting catalog that has secretly shaped the sound of modern R&B and neo-soul. Before we dive into how Angie's contributions have been systematically overlooked by the industry, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're into deep dives like this. We break down the biggest stories in music history without the fluff, just facts, receipts, and the real cultural impact that rarely makes the headlines. And trust me, you're going to want to see how this one ends, because the connections between Angie's work and today's biggest hits will completely change how you understand modern R&B. When D'Angelo's Brown Sugar exploded onto the scene in 1995, critics hailed him as a revolutionary voice, but few realized that Angie Stone was the pen behind some of his most iconic tracks. In a rare 2019 interview with Essence, Angie revealed, "We created that sound together, but the narrative became something different." Industry insiders have whispered for years that her contributions extended far beyond the official credits, with some suggesting she may have shaped up to 70% of the album's signature sound, though of course, only those in the studio know the full story. What's particularly fascinating is how Alicia Keys, during her 2020 appearance on Questlove's podcast, cryptically mentioned being deeply influenced by someone who never got their proper recognition when crafting songs in a minor. Many connected these dots to Angie, especially after Stone was spotted at several early writing sessions for Keys' debut. The plot thickens when you look at Raphael Saadiq's sudden style evolution in the late 90s. Music journalist Nelson George once noted that Saadiq's sound transformed dramatically after collaborating with Stone, leading to speculation about her uncredited influence on his work. While never confirmed, the timing certainly raises eyebrows. Today, we're connecting these scattered pieces to explore just how extensive Angie Stone's musical fingerprint truly is, and why some of music's biggest names might owe her more than they've publicly acknowledged. Before we dive into how Angie Stone became music's most underappreciated genius, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you're into deep dives like this. We break down the biggest stories in music history without the fluff, just facts, receipts, and a bit of musical justice. And trust me, you're going to want to see how this one ends. So, let's dive into Angie Stone's journey. Born Angela Laverne Brown in Columbia, South Carolina in 1961, Angie's musical roots run deep. Growing up in the church, she absorbed gospel traditions that would later influence her distinctive sound. But what's fascinating is how she transformed from a small-town girl with big dreams into a pioneering force in multiple genres. Her professional career kicked off in the late 1970s with the hip-hop trio The Sequence. Now, check this out. They were one of the first female rap groups ever signed to a major label. Their hit, Funk You Up, became a groundbreaking moment in hip-hop history. This wasn't just any track. It was sampled countless times by later artists, showing how ahead of her time Angie already was. What makes her early career so remarkable is that she was helping define hip-hop when the genre was still in its infancy. The Sequence was right there alongside Grandmaster Flash and the Sugar Hill Gang, laying down the foundation for everything that would follow. Yet how many people know this part of music history? Not nearly enough. After The Sequence, Angie didn't just sit back. She evolved with the changing musical landscape, joining the R&B group Vertical Hold in the early 90s. Their hit Seems You're Much Too Busy showcased her powerful vocals and songwriting abilities, proving she could excel across multiple genres. This adaptability would become a hallmark of her entire career. The mid-90s marked a pivotal turning point in Angie's career that would cement her legacy in music history. This is when she helped pioneer what we now call neo-soul, that perfect fusion of classic soul, R&B, jazz, and hip-hop that created something entirely fresh. Angie joined forces with D'Angelo, becoming not just his creative partner, but a crucial architect of his groundbreaking sound. Her contributions to his debut album, Brown Sugar, were monumental. She co-wrote Brother, Lady, and other tracks that defined that era. What's wild is how many people don't realize that some of D'Angelo's most iconic work has Angie's fingerprints all over it. But here's where things get interesting. While helping craft D'Angelo's sound, Angie was developing her own artistic identity. Her work with the group Devox showed her continuing evolution, but it was her solo debut, Black Diamond, in 1999 that truly showcased her as a complete artist. That album wasn't just music, it was a statement, blending deeply personal lyrics with sophisticated production that honored soul traditions while pushing them forward. No More Rain from that album became her signature hit, a perfect example of her ability to create music that feels both timeless and completely of its moment. The track samples Gladys Knight's "Neither One of Us," showing how Angie could bridge generations of Black music into something new and powerful. What's particularly noteworthy about Angie's role in neo-soul is how she helped create space for Black women to express complexity and depth in their music. In an era when the industry often pushed female artists toward more commercial sounds, she stood firm in her artistic vision, paving the way for artists like Jill Scott, India, Ari, and countless others who would follow. What truly sets Angie Stone apart is her exceptional talent as a songwriter and collaborator. Her pen game is absolutely ridiculous. Beyond her own catalog, she's written and produced for an impressive roster of artists spanning multiple generations and genres. This aspect of her career demonstrates her versatility and deep understanding of musical traditions. Her work with D'Angelo might be her most well-known collaboration, but it's just the tip of the iceberg. Angie contributed to projects by artists like Alicia Keys, Raphael Saadiq, and Joss Stone. Her ability to adapt her writing style to complement different artists while maintaining her distinctive voice is a rare gift that few songwriters possess. What's particularly fascinating about Angie's approach to songwriting is how she weaves personal experiences into universal themes. Take her track, "Wish I Didn't Miss You." It captures the complexity of lingering feelings after a relationship ends in a way that feels deeply specific, yet completely relatable. That's the mark of a master songwriter. Beyond writing, Angie's influence extends to production and arrangement. She has an incredible ear for how instruments and vocals should interact, creating rich sonic landscapes that support rather than overwhelm her lyrical content. Her production style emphasizes organic instrumentation and warm tones, creating a signature sound that many have tried to replicate. The industry impact of Angie's work can't be overstated. She helped create a blueprint for how R&B could evolve in the post-New Jack Swing era, incorporating elements of hip-hop production while maintaining the emotional depth and musical sophistication of classic soul. Artists like Mary J. Blige, Erykah Badu, and even younger stars like her and SZA owe a debt to the groundwork Angie laid. What's particularly impressive is how she accomplished all this while navigating an industry that often undervalued Black women's contributions. She persisted through changing trends and label politics, consistently delivering quality music that stood the test of time. Her resilience in the face of these challenges is as much a part of her legacy as the music itself. Despite her undeniable talent and influence, Angie Stone's career highlights a frustrating pattern in the music industry. Let's be real, she never received the level of mainstream recognition that her contributions warranted. This disconnect between impact and acknowledgment raises important questions about how the industry values certain artists. When we look at Angie's commercial performance, it tells only part of the story. While she achieved moderate success with albums like Mahogany Soul and Stone Love, her sales numbers don't reflect her artistic significance or industry influence. The Grammy nominations came, 3 of them, but the wins never materialized. This pattern of recognition without ultimate validation became a recurring theme in her career. What factors contributed to this underappreciation? First, timing played a crucial role. Angie emerged as a solo artist during a period when the music industry was increasingly focused on younger performers with more commercial sounds. Her sophisticated, mature approach to soul music, while critically acclaimed, didn't always align with radio trends or marketing priorities. Gender and age dynamics can't be ignored either. The industry has historically placed different expectations on women artists, particularly as they mature. While male soul and R&B artists often gain reverence with age, women frequently face pressure to maintain both youth and commercial relevance. Angie refused to compromise her artistic vision to chase trends, a stance that likely cost her in terms of mainstream success, but preserved her artistic integrity. Race adds another complex layer to this discussion. Black women artists, especially those working in soul traditions rather than more commercial pop, have frequently seen their innovations credited to others or diluted for wider consumption. Angie's work helped create a sound that would later be embraced when presented by other artists, sometimes with less acknowledgement of its origins. The business side of music also presented challenges. Label changes and restructuring affected the promotion and distribution of her work. Her time at J Records under Clive Davis started promisingly, but as with many artists, corporate priorities shifted over time, impacting how her music reached audiences. What's particularly telling is how musicians themselves view Angie versus how the general public knows her. Among artists and producers, she's revered as a pioneer and master craftswoman. This disconnect between industry respect and public recognition exemplifies how certain contributions to music history become undervalued in the broader cultural narrative. Angie Stone's musical signature is instantly recognizable, yet difficult to replicate. Her sound combines several distinct elements that, together, create something uniquely hers. Let's break down what makes her artistry so special and enduring. At the foundation of Angie's sound is her extraordinary voice. Her vocal tone carries a warmth and richness that conveys emotion with remarkable authenticity. Unlike many contemporary vocalists who rely heavily on runs and technical flourishes, Angie's approach prioritizes emotional delivery and phrasing. She knows exactly when to show restraint and when to unleash the full power of her instrument. This thoughtful approach to vocal performance creates an intimacy with listeners that feels like she's singing directly to your personal experience. Her production choices consistently showcase a deep reverence for musical history while never feeling stuck in the past. Angie's work typically features live instrumentation or samples that maintain the organic quality of the original recordings. The bass lines in her songs deserve special mention. They're often melodic and prominent, creating a foundation that's both rhythmically compelling and harmonically rich. This approach connects her music to the soul traditions of the 70s while incorporating modern production techniques. Lyrically, Angie explores themes of love, resilience, spirituality, and self-worth with remarkable depth. Her writing avoids cliches, instead offering nuanced perspectives on relationships and personal growth. Songs like Brother celebrate the strength and dignity of Black men in a society that often portrays them negatively, while tracks like I Wanna Thank Ya express gratitude with sincerity rather than sentimentality. This lyrical sophistication elevates her work beyond typical radio fare. What's particularly noteworthy about Angie's musical approach is her ability to balance accessibility with artistic integrity. Her hooks are memorable without being simplistic, her arrangements complex without becoming pretentious. This delicate balance creates music that rewards both casual listening and deeper engagement. Her influence can be heard across multiple genres today. The neo-soul movement she helped pioneer created space for artists who wanted to honor Black musical traditions while pushing them forward. The emphasis on authentic expression over commercial formulas has inspired countless artists who prioritize artistic vision over trend chasing. When examining contemporary R&B and soul, Angie's fingerprints are everywhere, from the production techniques to the vocal approaches to the thematic content. Artists like Anderson .Paak, Jasmine Sullivan, and Leon Bridges all work in spaces that Angie helped define, whether they explicitly acknowledge that influence or not. Behind the music, Angie Stone's personal journey reveals a woman who faced significant challenges with remarkable strength. Her story isn't just about musical accomplishment, but about human perseverance in the face of both professional and personal obstacles. Throughout her career, Angie has been refreshingly candid about her health struggles, particularly her battle with type 2 diabetes. Rather than keeping this condition private, she used her platform to raise awareness about diabetes in the Black community, where it disproportionately affects individuals. This openness helped destigmatize the condition and potentially saved lives by encouraging early detection and management. Her personal relationships have also presented challenges that she's navigated with grace. Her relationship with D'Angelo, while creatively fruitful, came with complications, including co-parenting their son Michael. The public scrutiny of their relationship added pressure to an already complex situation. Yet Angie maintained her dignity throughout, refusing to exploit these personal matters for publicity despite opportunities to do so. Financial difficulties have also been part of Angie's story. Despite creating music that generated significant wealth for the industry, she, like many artists, didn't always see proportionate returns. The music business's notorious contractual inequities affected her career trajectory, yet she continued creating authentic art rather than chasing commercial success at the expense of her artistic vision. What's particularly inspiring about Angie's approach to these challenges is her refusal to be defined by hardship. Instead of crafting a narrative of victimhood, she consistently redirected focus to her work and creative contributions. This attitude reflects a profound inner strength and clarity about her purpose as an artist. Her resilience extended to career setbacks as well. When albums didn't perform as expected commercially, or when industry support waned, Angie reinvented herself without compromising her core artistic identity. She explored acting, appearing in productions like The Fighting Temptations, and participated in reality television on shows like R&B Divas, introducing her talent to new audiences. Throughout these personal and professional challenges, Angie maintained a spiritual foundation that clearly sustained her. References to faith appear throughout her music not as performative gestures, but as authentic expressions of her worldview. This spiritual grounding seems to have provided stability amid industry turbulence and personal trials. What emerges from examining Angie's personal journey is a portrait of an artist who refused to separate her humanity from her art. In an industry that often encourages performers to create marketable personas, she remained authentically herself, complex, flawed, resilient, and ultimately triumphant in ways that transcend commercial metrics. When we assess Angie Stone's true impact on music and culture, we need to look beyond chart positions and award shows. Her influence operates on a deeper level that continues to resonate throughout contemporary music in ways both obvious and subtle. Angie helped redefine what it meant to be a Black woman artist in the modern music landscape. During an era when the industry often pushed female R&B artists toward increasingly sexualized images and content, she maintained artistic autonomy and dignity. Her presentation centered on musical substance rather than manufactured controversy or visual spectacle. This stance wasn't just a personal choice but a political one, creating space for artists who wanted to be valued primarily for their musical contributions. Her work also played a crucial role in preserving and evolving soul music traditions during a period when they were at risk of being marginalized. By incorporating elements of hip-hop production while maintaining the emotional depth and musical sophistication of classic soul, she created a bridge between generations of Black music. This fusion helped ensure that younger audiences remained connected to these important musical traditions while experiencing them in contemporary contexts. The community-building aspect of Angie's career deserves special recognition. Her music consistently affirmed Black identity and experience with songs like Brother and Black Man that celebrated the strength, dignity, and complexity of Black life. These weren't just songs, but cultural affirmations that provided counter-narratives to negative stereotypes and limited representations in mainstream media. What's particularly significant about Angie's cultural contribution is how she centered Black women's experiences in her work. Her music explored the full emotional spectrum of Black womanhood: joy, pain, desire, spirituality, strength, and vulnerability, with remarkable nuance. This comprehensive representation provided important visibility at a time when Black women's stories were often flattened or overlooked in popular culture. As we reflect on Angie Stone's legacy, it's clear that proper recognition requires looking beyond conventional metrics of success. Her impact must be measured not just in sales figures, but in how she expanded possibilities for artists who followed, particularly Black women who sought to create authentic, substantive work on their own terms. The music industry and cultural commentators have a responsibility to reassess artists like Angie, whose contributions exceed their commercial footprint. This reevaluation isn't about charity or retroactive praise, but about accurate cultural history that acknowledges innovation and influence wherever it exists, regardless of marketing budgets or industry politics. Ultimately, Angie Stone's career reminds us that true artistic significance often reveals itself over time, beyond the limitations of contemporary reception. Her work stands as a testament to the power of artistic integrity, cultural preservation, and authentic expression, values that transcend trends and continue to inspire new generations of musicians and listeners. As we wrap up this exploration of Angie Stone's remarkable journey, let's take a moment to appreciate what she represents in the broader landscape of music history. Her career embodies the complex reality that true innovation and artistic excellence don't always receive proportionate recognition in their time. What makes Angie's story so compelling is how she never allowed industry oversight to diminish her creative vision or compromise her artistic integrity. She continued creating music that matters, songs that speak to real human experiences with authenticity and depth. This commitment to her craft, regardless of external validation, represents the purest expression of what it means to be an artist. For those discovering Angie Stone's music for the first time, you're in for an incredible journey through a catalog rich with soul, wisdom, and musical brilliance. For longtime fans, her work rewards repeated listening, revealing new layers and insights with each experience. The next time you hear contemporary artists praised for their innovative fusion of soul, hip-hop, and R&B, remember Angie Stone. Remember that she helped create that blueprint decades ago, often without receiving proper credit. This isn't just about giving one artist her flowers, but about understanding our musical history accurately and completely. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into one of music's most underappreciated pioneers. Until next time, keep supporting the artists who move you, especially those who may not have the full spotlight they deserve.